Hello and welcome to the Riptide Collective, a new channel dedicated to bringing all Riptide content all the time. My name is Nix, and I'd first like to thank you for stopping by, and secondly, I'd like to apologize for the nasally audio. I am currently in the process of getting a new mic, so this will have to do for now. The goal of this channel is to bring Riptide content to the greater Fab community. It's a missing channel, and this channel would have made much sooner, except those of us that would have liked to make a channel similar to this don't necessarily have the time to dedicate to a project that's this time consuming. That being said, the collective part of the title means it won't just be gameplay from a singular entity, but rather a collection of gameplays featuring Riptide from the Green Boys dedicated player base. We also plan on streaming, and we have a dedicated Riptide server and Discord. In this Discord, users will be able to submit videos and voiceovers or face cams that may or may not be featured in episodes found on this channel. The links for both mediums will be linked in the description below. The video quality will constantly get better as time goes on. This was a side project for several folks you might know fairly well. The main content for this channel will not only be provided by myself, but also, and a huge personal thank you to the following individuals for making a channel like this possible. Towley, Talon, Garrett, Moo, TN34, and Limitless. Many hours have been dedicated between the group of us in figuring out this underdog hero. Articles have been written, podcasts completed, etc. Truly an awesome group to work with, and I'm very grateful for all of them. So without further ado, let's hop into the gameplay. So starting off this gameplay, we're going against an Azalea. This is normally a pretty interesting match for us. It can definitely overwhelm us sometimes, depending on the types of Azalea builds that they run. Sometimes with the big dominated pumps, when you get up to 15 to 20 damage, it is possible to block it with Riptide due to his ability and being able to load your arsenal, but other times it's pretty rough. So here we are going first. Just going to try to get some chip damage in over the top, only expecting to hit for one, but we want to try to cycle away some cards. As you can see, they have a lot of 2 blocks, which means that they're either going to have to block us with a lot more cards, or they're going to take more damage. So either way, that's good. We put out the sigil because we just have to empty out our hand. Don't really have many other ways to passively do so. Right here, I'm not really quite sure what the Azalea was doing, but we're going to try to cycle through our deck once again. He accidentally showed us the rain razors there. That was put into arsenal. So our turn. Now we just have a 4-card hand. All we're going to try to do here is going to try to cycle some cards. Unfortunately, we don't have an attack, but in this fatigue style, it's actually not the worst thing in the world. Drew into 2 battering bolts. Kind of crappy, but we'll see what they're going to play out. We do have 3 D-reacts, so it is likely. Now, we're going +9 on this bad boy, so we're going to come in for 13, I believe, 13 dominated. Now, we will be able to block out quite a substantial portion of this. Again, due to our ability, we're able to block from hand and refill our arsenal. It's actually super useful. You saw me going for the skull cap there. Obviously not the right call here. Well, with the pitfall trap, we may be able to get an extra damage if they don't want to pay for the added 2 when we come out. Sorry, I'm just going through all the options here. Quite honestly, the on-hit is not necessarily the worst thing in the world. Being that it's so early on in the game, I'm not super concerned. But we will be giving them an inertia, so there's always a plus. But if we use this pitfall trap, it's likely that they'll just pay for it. If they do try to keep it, however, which would be a greedier play on their end, then we'll hit them with the inertia trap and be able to get that arsenal card away. So they pay for it, which, okay, not the worst thing in the world again. Now we play the boulder trap. We're going to be able to put on a -1 counter due to the increased damage here. Also the inertia, which again really only nets us 1 point of damage towards them. We do have a lot of on hits there that we got scrounged with, but it is what it is. So they do have an inertia and a ponder due to the premeditate that was played, and so they will have their arsenal. For our turn, we're just going to try to cycle this out. It kind of stinks, and we're going to have one that gets shot off into. We have an inertia token as well, so we're gonna use the inertia token trigger first to put it onto the bottom of our deck. That way we're not losing cards for no real reason there. So for our turn, we see the Ravenous Rabble come out of Arsenal. We're probably just going to go ahead and use the Frailty Trap here. Frailty Trap gives them a Frailty counter because it has Go Again, and because it was played from Arsenal, the Frailty counter will affect its power. We're playing it from hand, so we're going to go ahead and drop something into Arsenal here. You don't always have to drop something into Arsenal, but it is definitely nice to kind of clear up your hand. And if you want a Tunic on their turn to try to get some more stuff out of there, like for a Codex turn or something, sometimes you want to empty your hand pretty quick. All right, so Heat Seeker in Arsenal from Azalea's ability, or from Death Dealer, I'm sorry, then using Azalea's ability to get an Endless Arrow out there. We have 7 blocks, so we have to see what they want to do here as far as pumps. It will get a -1 due to the frailty. Alright, so they just give us a pass. They are playing New Horizon, which is a really interesting choice for an Azalea, but hey, by all means, we're Riptide, we can't really talk. Alright, so it looks like we did an undo there. And they only have 9 cards in their graveyard, including the quiver. So they're doing this mostly to kind of cycle through cards. So for our turn, pretty easy. We're going to go ahead and cycle that away. We are going to load the arrow and shoot it. So in situations like this, it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world to not have an arsenal, because we can put stuff into our arsenal as long as we play a D-react from hand. Because we run so many D-reacts and things that we can play at instant speed, it's pretty common that we're able to fill the arsenal. Like, perfect example here, we have the boulder trap, we also have the pitfall trap. Boulder trap will load the pitfall trap, then we have a block 6 just in traps alone. We want to try to keep the Codex and the Intoxicating if we can. I'm checking the graveyard because I want to see what I would need to pay for something like that. We don't have any 2 costs in there right now, so we don't necessarily need the Intoxicating Shot for that. We can just put it into Arsenal and trench it away to get a resource to play whatever we call back. Alright, so Codex of Inertia. Interesting choice. If you notice the inertia shot that we gave them from our sedation shot the last turn, when they took that damage, the reason that we use that and prefer it in this fatigue style deck is because we play Dreadbore. We already have the hand covered, but by playing the by playing things that give out inertias, it prevents them from keeping an arsenaled D-react, which really helps us overall. Okay, so they are coming in with Remorseless, and this will be coming in for 8. We won't be able to play D-Reacts from the arsenal because of Remorseless's ability. When it's put into the arsenal face up, you can't play D-Reacts from arsenal. So we run those in our deck, obviously, and using that with Dreadbore is insane. It blocks out D-Reacts altogether, which can sometimes end the game. So now we're just thinking through what we want to do for our turn. Quite honestly, like if we just blocked what we could, it's not the end of the world. And it doesn't hurt us that badly to take some damage here. We're still doing damage to them, which is pretty awesome. What I think I'm setting up to do here is put the Pitfall Trap in Arsenal. I'm obviously not going to block with it, but I'm not going to I'm not blocking with Codex either. The idea here is I'm going to Codex. So I'm going to Trench away and Codex, get a Ponder. They have the inertia token. Doesn't matter to me. Yep, so I'll have a floating resource off of this. Probably gonna grab Sedation Shot. I don't remember what's in the graveyard here. Yeah, Sedation Shot is the best pick there. Give them another inertia token if they decide that they want to be greedy again. It really helps us especially because they're playing New Horizon. These inertia tokens are phenomenal. It prevents them from having some like powerhouse 6-card hands. 7 cards if you include using Tunic for Death Dealer and drawing a card off of that. So it looks like they're thinking about it. We're going to get some blocks out of them, at least one. But they have to block out the 5. It really, really hinders their deck because of the build that they're using. But in all honesty, Sedation Shot is magnificent in this fatigue style Riptide. We did take one from the Remorseless trigger. The one thing that I've noticed with playing Fatigue Riptide is your life total, using it as a resource, is so vital in this type of gameplay. Alright, so it looks like they're only going to block 3, which is fine. We give them the inertia. They take a little bit of damage. We have 2 inertia triggers going off, and then we have a Ponder. So we'll still be able to get our arsenal. Not the best arsenal, and if you look at our hand, this is actually really not a good hand, especially if they are able to dominate something. We're kind of SOL on this turn. So they already used Azalea's ability. Won't have Dominate, so we might be able to get quite a bit of blockage in here. So we're coming in for 9. We're going to use the Skull Cap here because as we get lower in health, it's quite possible that we won't be lower than them in the near future. So we're probably just going to go ahead and throw quite a bit in front of them, hopefully in order to block out all of it. I think the idea here that I was going with is let's cycle away the Codex with Trench on our turn, of course. Use the other Codex. We'll pitch a blue to Dreadbore, and then we'll play CNC from the graveyard. But you see me kind of going over my options here. It's kind of a tough one here. Yep, we got to keep a blue. Just kind of sucks a little bit. You notice I'm keeping the Warmongers over the Intoxicating Shot. Intoxicating Shot is really good against a lot of decks. Endgame, do not use it too early. You'll deeply, deeply regret it. So we need to pitch to Dreadbore first, because if we trench first, it'll give us a floating resource, and it'll use that resource for Dreadbore. So this is an ordering thing. Not entirely sure why I'm waiting here, but yep, there you go. Oh, I think it was because I was thinking about what they're going to bring back from their graveyard. But again, I don't really care, because whatever they decide to bring back, they're going to lose a card. And if they have all pumps in their hand, they have to full block a CNC, which that's terrible value. So they got a Remorseless. Not really super surprising there. It's a great card. You know, come to think of it, in this match, I don't recall seeing a lot of red in the ledgers, which is, I'm very grateful for that. Okay, so they were able to 2-block it. That's fine, but we got rid of another Remorseless, so we traded a Remorseless for a Remorseless. All right, so this is a really interesting hand. I love Collapsing Trap. Unfortunately, it's not necessarily the best card in this particular matchup. You get Ravenous sometimes, or Bolden Shot, but... Alright, so here we're just going to try to clear out the arsenal, I think. To give us a resource. Let's see. What I would do is give myself the resource off. I would just cycle the second sigil, the sigil and arsenal. But it looks as though I'm not going to pay for it. And instead I'm just going to throw 3 in front. Pay 0 for that, yep. And then throw a sink in. Okay, that's not too bad. Put the sigil away. Okay, I'm not gonna put the sigil away. Alright, so here we go. I probably would have done that. But I guess I just want to gain a bunch of life and call it a day. So we'll throw Collapsing Trap into Arsenal. Hopefully they have something. I think they've already used 2 Ravenouses, so probably won't get much there. I think they run E-Strikes and Bolden Shots. So it is possible that we see something that we might be able to get that Collapsing Trap to trigger on. For those of you that don't know, Collapsing Trap, when it triggers off of a card with Go Again. It makes your opponent discard all the cards in their hand, and then draw that many -1. So Codex here, something to keep in mind as a Riptide player, you can always trench away if you want to also search for the Codex. So you see I push off the arsenal with the trench. So here I have Buzzsaw Trap, which is amazing in this particular scenario, because it says that the card that it blocks cannot gain power for the rest of the turn, which essentially just shuts off all the buffs that it just got. Then we were able to play the Pitfall Trap from Arsenal, since Remorseless was not put into Arsenal face up. So we have a Remorseless coming at them. They just took it. So now any action cards that they play, we will get some extra damage in there. Yep, so they're coming in with a buff power, and they have snaps still, so my guess is snaps coming in off of this. honestly, I think it's just kind of a let's just uh, use our life as a resource here. If he gives it go again, we can always shoot the frailty trap. Okay, so they didn't give it go again. That's fine. They just didn't want to take a ton of damage. But that gives us an arsenal. That's a really good, really good thing for us. Alright, so it went into arsenal face up. He's just taking it. More power to him, I suppose. So he's down to 11 to 24. This is a pretty rough one. So, okay, this is perfect. Okay, well, now not so much. But he's taken a lot of damage from Remorseless this turn, is what it appears like to me. So I can throw a 2-block from the equipment in front, or I could just chuck one of these cards, these 3 blocks from hand. Salvage shot is awesome, but we are nowhere near fatiguing. We're definitely going for a kill shot here. So throw a 3-block. Want to do the salvage shot and the command and conquer next turn, most likely. Try to clear out their arsenal. I think I'm actually, yep, here we go, going for the 2-block. Good job. Sometimes I use my brain. Frailty trap will trigger. Give them a frailty token. We'll give their Bolden shot a -1. This will be coming in for 4. It's probably one of the saddest heat seekers I've ever seen. But it happens. So now it's kind of awkward because I don't have any D-reacts to kind of clear this out. I think I just ultimately gave it to him. Oh, no, I guess I blocked it out. Okay, yeah, that's fine too, because we still have an E-strike. I could still push 7 damage. Alright, what are they coming out with? Okay. You know, I don't even remember that, but I definitely didn't see that coming. So, okay, and we're going straight into a codex here. Alrighty. That was a good play. So, we have to decide how we want to come back from this one. Quite honestly, yeah, I hope I just grabbed the Remorseless. They got a Ravenous Rabble, which is a really interesting choice. And if I remember correctly, I don't think they attacked with it either. So if I grab an E-strike, okay, I got the Remorseless. Throw the E-strike away because we got recurrence with the, oh, see. Okay, so they did attack with it, but it has -1 from the frailty. I don't care. We'll take it. 21. Alright, so we got pretty measly Remorseless coming in here, but they are at 5, so better start blocking with some equipment. Think we might get the tunic. Nope. No tunic there. Probably would have been a smarter block, but I'm sure he has his reasons. Alright, so now we have 3 D-reacts in hand. We could use sync to fix our hand a bit. Take aim, no reload. Okay, so he's coming in 5 dominate with the bolt shot. He still has go again, has a codex in the arsenal. So it looks like we're probably going to get the codex going here. I doubt there's a reload. I don't think I bother with with blocking out. Okay, so super weird because they didn't decide to keep going, And I sunk below. I used the sink below trigger and I got another sink below. So not necessarily what you want to see, but it is what it is. So I always put the take covers in Arsenal. They're awesome for the traps, the crew traps that have to be shot from Arsenal. With the reload mechanism, you can throw it from Arsenal and still reload. So now we have another red Bolton shot coming through. This one's going to be for 7. Go again. So this is pretty cool because we have the tar pit trap, which is really a great card. Into go again, it just means that, you know, if I only blocked with the tar pit trap, the reload effect from Bolton shot would not happen. But now it means that whatever the next card is, whatever the on hit is, will not trigger if there is an on hit. Alright, so they're going to try to go for a dominate attack. They get a premeditate instead. I think they were looking to set up a really large turn for the next turn. So here I use Plague Hive just to get them a token of some sort. Throw out Warmongers, and they give us the GG. Simple as that. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you next time.